because the Christ within can swallow up the Christ of the body of the earthly man, the body of the mortal man. Because this mortal body cannot be the body of the Christ. John's Gospel, chapter 2. And here, John is telling us something. John chapter 2. Jesus Christ had just cleansed the temple, driven out the money changers, etc., etc. And so they came to him and said, verse 18, chapter 2 of John, "What sign showest thou unto us that allows you to do these things?" And Jesus answered and said to them, "Destroy this temple. Here's my authority. Destroy this temple. And in 3 days, I'll raise it up." 3 days. This is a 3-day experience. A 3-day experience. Not 3 literal days for us. But it was a 3-day experience for Jesus Christ. On that first day, he died upon that cross. And so did you. Yes. So did you. So did you. You died on that cross. Your body was taken down off that cross and put in the tomb. It was buried, if you like. It was buried in the earth. When a seed is buried in the earth, what happens? It germinates. And it releases all the potential that's in the seed. But Christ is in you. Christ is in that body. So that Christ simply began to release into that body all the potential of God himself. On that 3rd day, the stone was rolled away. What for? To let Jesus Christ out? No, 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 no. To let us in. Because I want to tell you, those disciples would never have believed the resurrection if they hadn't gone in to see an empty tomb. They would never have believed. But they went in. Even then, they weren't thoroughly convinced. But they saw there was nobody there. There was nobody there. He had risen. Because the seed within has the power to raise up the Christ of God. This is the birthing of the sons of God. That's what you are. Yes. You're all sons of God. And you are birthed by the Christ that dwells within you. Yes. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, let's go back. For in this body, verse 2, chapter 5, in this body we groan. I said, yes, Paul, I know all about this. I've done my share of groaning. He said, earnestly desiring to be clothed upon with our house from heaven. I said, Paul, I am today earnestly desiring, but I want to tell you, 40 years, I never even gave it a thought. For 40 years of my life, I never gave it a thought. Right. Probably more than that. But today, yes, I earnestly desire. Why? Because it's become far more real to me now. And the need for it is far greater in my life now. Because unless God does something, I will go the way of all men and head for the grave. And I don't plan on doing that. So God is preserving me. And I am believing to be preserved. Why? Until this transaction is complete. Yes, sir. That's what I'm believing God for. So, he said, we are earnestly, are you earnestly desiring to be clothed upon with your house from heaven? Yeah, well, some of you are. Come on. See, others of you, I'm not sure that you've even thought about it, have you? I'm not trying to make you feel bad. Like I said, 40 years, I never even thought about it either. Very few people seem to think. Because we don't believe that this could take place. We don't believe that such a change is possible. But I want to show you, it's right here in the book. This is not Des Walder's latest, thought process. So it says here, verse 4, if we that are in this tabernacle do groan, we that are in this tabernacle do groan, being burdened, not that we would be unclothed. To be unclothed means you're going to be dead. And Paul is not talking about death in this chapter at all. It's got nothing to do with death here. For us. It has to do with the death of Jesus Christ, but not death as we understand it in the cemetery. He said, we are being burdened, not that we would be unclothed, but clothed upon, that mortality might be swallowed up of life. This is your mortality. This outer man is your mortality, and it's going to be swallowed up of the life of the Christ, who is the inner man of the same body. What do you think the inner man wants to do for you? He wants you to be eternal. Why? Your body is his temple. Jesus Christ dwelling in you has no means of function, no means of manifestation on this earth apart from your body. It is his desire. I believe God put him in you for one reason, and that is to change your body from mortal to immortal. That's why he put Christ in you. Lord, help us tonight. Help us to get a grip on this, Father, to desire, Lord, what you want for us. I am sure that that Christ in you is saying to every one of you, yes, listen to this, will you? Listen, this is what I want. This is my desire for you, that this change should take place in your body. Verse 6. This verse is used in every funeral service I've ever been to, every funeral service that I personally conducted, and every other funeral service that I've ever been to. I always use this verse. Therefore, we're always confident, knowing that whilst we're at home in the body, we're absent from the Lord. Well, glory to God. Dear Uncle Joe, you see in that box there, we're about to lower that down into the ground. Dear Uncle Joe, he's now absent from the body and he's present with the Lord. My Lord. I don't think so. I don't think so. That is not what Paul is talking about. What is he talking about? He's talking about being absent from this mortal body. Yes. Jesus Christ does not live in your mortal body. That's right. He's on the inside. It's the outer man that is mortal, not the inner man. He's eternal. That's why when you come to die, he said, well, if this is what you want, okay, but I'm going home. And at the point of death, he leaves. He goes back to the Father. That's the Spirit. Then you're dead. But that's not what he wants. He wants you to allow him to change this mortal into immortality. If you are living out of your mortal body, that is, if your consciousness is in your mortality, you are absent from the Lord. Because he's on the inside, not in the outer man. It's not the inner man that gets cancer. It's not the inner man that gets a migraine headache. It's not the inner man that suffers from all these diseases. It's the outer man. That's what it is. The inner man can't possibly get sick. And so, what does he say? He says, we are confident, I say, and willing rather to be absent from the body to be present with the Lord. Shift house.